So a lot of times, as small business owners or people who are transitioning from the work life to the business life, we are familiar with being employees, and then we create something that requires us to work as if we're employees. And that's a natural like progression, because like you're usually leveraging your assets, what you have going for you, your skills, your talents or whatever, in order to get people to give you money for something. And at some point, after about, let's say, the 100 person or so that you do this thing with, whatever your talent is, whatever the service is, whatever the product is, it gets mundane. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I can love eating chicken nuggets, right? After the 100th chicken nugget, I'm tired of eating the chicken nugget. It doesn't matter. I could love eating candy. If I eat 100 pieces of candy, I'll hate it after the 100th one. So if you love doing yoga, or if you love plant medicine, after the 100 person that you've taught about plant medicine eventually gets old, you know? And so being able to plan for that 100th time where you look up and you're like, golly, this is terrible. This is so old. Plan in advance for how can this be done without me actually doing the thing. I'm in a really interesting place in the evolution of my products and services, where I get to see different versions of myself over time. And I've actually gone back to some of the products that I actually offer to people just to make sure it's up to date and it's saying what I want it to say. And I could never imagine myself saying what I'm talking about then, now. Like, it's just not part of my psyche, it's not part of my consciousness right now. I was in a really different place. My passion for cannabis medicine has evolved significantly to the point where if I was to teach the training course to somebody, they'd be like, girl, what is you talking about? Like, this is so overwhelming, you know? And I was like, I get that. I get that. But that version of me still is important for people to hear and to know that this exists. And so that's going to be true for you all as well. And so how can you capture you now, the essence of you, in either leveraging online technology, recordings, videos, things like that, or two, to be able to delegate to recreate you for a lower skill set? Like, what are the things that you do that you can itemize that somebody who has a lower skill set than you can complete for you? So that way you can maintain the outward vision of the direction your business is going to go into. Because the second that you don't have that, because when in the beginning we're excited when we're starting our business, or when we get to the part where we're converting, or when we get to the part where we get in consistency, or when we get to the part where like now you hit break even, and then god damn it, now you're making a real profit, like you're definitely excited then. But once all of these excited milestones occur, ideally you'll go through different renditions of that, but you need to make sure that you're going in the direction of the vision, and you need to continuously revisit your vision and redefine your vision over time. Yeah, so that's just one thought. And so as you continue to get successful moments, those hit those objectives, pay attention, pay close attention, pay attention to why it makes you feel good, pay attention to how it makes you feel good, and then pay attention to how it served the people that you are trying to serve. And so even breaking down in the service part, that's the personal work, right? Like how it affects you, how you feel about it, that's all part of the personal work. But how it affects the client, understanding why it makes them feel good, what did they like about it, defining what customer service means in for you and your client, your ideal client, looking at what the value add is, right? So these are all conversations that we've had in the past, being able to define those things on the front end. And we talked about it being a science experiment. And so once you get the outcome in one client, the science experiment has been validated. And so what you're trying to do is build up the volume of validation in order to revisit the science experiment and redefine it, target it, to whatever. Try to get 3 there. But but really being able to evaluate that over time, reevaluate, how about it? And so, yeah, so I wanted to talk to you all about branding. What are you all's, any questions on that little piece there?